Michael Carrick looks set to become the next Manchester United manager on a permanent basis, if you're to believe all of the heavy hitting journalists. The likes of Laurie Whitwell saying that Michael Carrick is in line to be the next permanent coach, with pretty much everyone raving about him and being happy with him, and that the likes of Sir Jim Radcliffe obviously leading the way in the recruitment selection for the next managerial appointment of United, and it seems that Carrick has got the green light, as reports have suggested. It's also backed up with Florian Plettenberg saying that he has a very good chance of remaining as Manchester United's manager following an incredible job in recent months. Now, as we know, Michael Carrick took over from Ruben Amorim way back. It seems like forever ago now at this stage, in January of this year, following Amorim's unsuccessful tenure at United. Carrick stepped in to almost act like another Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in gaining the fans back on side, gaining the support of the players around him, and trying to galvanise a very depleted squad, even though Ruben Amorim, in my opinion, left United in an okay position, but not to where the United of old should be. Now, some United fans will probably be thinking, well, does Carrick deserve the job? Does he have what it takes to stay on as permanent manager of Manchester United? And I think his record in the 15 games that he has managed with the club speaks for itself. He out of the 15, he's won at least 10, drawn 3 and lost twice. Now, most notably, probably one of the poorest results in Carrick's tenure was against Leeds most recently, where Leeds seemed to just boss them off the park. But that's probably one poor game out of, a good maybe 13 matches that Carrick has been at the helm at. And it also seems that, the players seem to be galvanizing around him. One of the most probably improved players, I would say, this season, and even though he was a Ruben Amorim signing, was Mateus Cunha, but it seems to be under Carrick's, I suppose, guidance, maybe that's too strong of a word, but under his tenure and leadership, he's elevated Cunha's game to another level. Cunha was always a really good Premier League player, but he has really stepped up the role for United when they needed someone to, really. And in contrast, I suppose, where to Mbeumo, where at the start of the season under Amorim, Mbeumo was flying it up to maybe about AFCON, and Cunha was maybe in and out of the squad. It seems to be the reverse now, where Mbeumo seems to be in and out of the squad, whereas Cunha is almost being like Man United's main man. But that's not to say that he is the main man, because the main man is obviously Bruno Fernandes, who has been probably the Premier League, in my opinion, definitely Premier League Player of the Year, with the amount of assists that lad has racked up. Where would United be without Bruno? I don't know. United fans would know more about it than I, but I think he's been absolutely exceptional, and I think Carrick's, again, leadership and influence maybe has positively affected Bruno's captaincy, and through that then has made both him a better player, but also the other players around him, even the likes of Sesko up top, who, yeah, he hasn't been getting as much probably starts as he would have wanted under Carrick. He definitely has been contributing in the goal department, which is what he was brought in to do. Also, as well, Kobbie Mainoo has, been, no, I'm not going to say revelation signing at all, but he's definitely had a resurgence under Carrick as well. Mainoo, when he burst onto the scene, he was being so applauded over, and rightly so. He was putting in some really good performances. Amorim came in, kind of distance between himself and Mainoo, which didn't really go down too well, it seemed, in the footballing community, because everyone could see how talented Kobbie Mainoo was, and now we're actually seeing it ourselves. And Carrick obviously trusts him massively, next to Casemiro as well, and so another player again that has proven to take to Michael Carrick's maybe philosophy as a coach, and just developed again into a really, really good player all around. So then that leaves us then with all those positive attributes that Carrick has brought him. Is he the right man for the job? Well, according to, we have the Athletic here, who have reported that while Carrick, it seemed that all the head execs of United seemed to be really, you know, admirable, if that's a word, of him. They were looking at other coaches like your Iriola and even Unai Emery. But because I suppose the people who have worked with Carrick, they feel that he is the right man to take them into next season. Now, as of this recording, don't know the length of contract that he's going to probably sign. But if I was the United board, I would probably be only giving him the year for the sole reason of seeing how does he really take to it, take to having a summer and window, and seeing how does he manage with all that. You know, he doesn't have that experience, I suppose, at the top and elite level to recruit the best of the best that Man United probably needs, not deserves, but you know, made a name for themselves over, especially when Sir Alex was there. So it will be interesting to see how he does with that. Now, is he the right man for the job? In my head, I think short term, yeah, he seems to be. His results and they seem to be speak for themselves. Long term, I would have thought maybe not. I would have thought that United would have been going in for the likes of a Nagelsmann, definitely the likes of a Luis Enrique. But obviously, if PSG go and win, the Champions League against Arsenal, fingers crossed they do. Maybe Enrique wants to stay on in Paris for another year and try and win a treble, back to back Champions Leagues with PSG. I would have thought that United would have been going for more that kind of caliber manager. The winner, the kind of, yes, a project, but a winning kind of project manager, if that makes sense. But take nothing away that if Mike Carrick does, and it all does seem to be like it is going to go to plan, that if he is the manager, I have no doubt that he probably will be successful. But that remains to be seen as what will define a successful season for Manchester United next season.